God snow. What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I've been sitting here on my workbench trying to figure out what I wanted to do today. We have this package right here that showed up from eBay and super fast shipping, surprisingly, but catback exhaust system, and we will talk about this and why it fits the budget. But we're not going to be doing that in today's video. Today we want to make more progress under the hood of Project Blueberry, and I do want to get the intake manifold and stuff off the floor. But in the previous video I mentioned that I don't want to put the intake manifold and stuff on until we figure out the radiator. So today I want to do the radiator install, and I do have one sitting right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have a radiator that's been sitting up there for about 2.5 years now. It was given to me from somebody, and I think this is the perfect time to put it to use. So this radiator right here is for an EGDC EK. It's a half core from eBay, and these radiators range anywhere between like $60 to $80, and if you're buying it with a combo with like a fan or something or a shroud, it can probably north up to about 130. But I'll put a link in the description below for one similar to this one, but because I have it already, it's gonna save the cost for me to buy a new one, which I'm gonna be cutting and modifying anyways. The fins aren't too bad in this. Like I said, it's been sitting for a couple of years. Only one spot is kind of dented in right here. Not too bad. And the front just has a few little bent fins, but overall clean, just super dirty. I also do have a fan sitting around as well too. I want to say this is a 12-inch fan. It is a 12-inch fan, and I'm not entirely sure if I want to run a shroud on here because I don't have one. Maybe I'll order one offline or build a scratch one like I did for my all-wheel drive CRX, but I'm not too focused about the shroud right now. But my main concern is getting this radiator to fit the K-swap because the water necks are in different locations. We'll talk about it when we pop the hood. So in today's video, we're gonna try to get the radiator all modified, painted, and fitted up into the car with the hoses and everything on it. So let's get to it. Before I put the radiator on, I have to throw the intake manifold on to reference where everything's going to sit as far as the charge pipe or intake goes. So this right here, we'll talk more about it when we do the install. Easy enough. I'm going to slap it on there for right now. Put one bolt on. That is a 12 mil. Not entirely sure why I didn't buy this in black, but whatever. There are grommets down there already, and obviously that goes down here on the post. You can obviously see I already modified this radiator before I sprayed it to ensure that we clear the support and not have to modify this after the fact, which would then obviously leave open exposed metal. So we are kind of lined up with this tab right here, right? And I could just get a radiator stay for an EG and bolt it there. I don't know if the distance is going to be the same as if it sat on the other side, which typically would be right there. I actually don't even have the bracket to do that, but what I wanted to do was I wanted to eliminate this altogether, cut it off, and then make a triangle plate right here, and then just bolt it directly to that hole. So I may do that because that was my original intentions, just so I don't have a weird looking bracket sitting there. But my main concern is the top coolant port right here. Obviously it's pointed right at the TPS sensor, and we're gonna have to modify this some way or the other. Now if it's not a boosted application, you can always cut those tabs off and move the radiator more towards the driver's side, right? Because obviously you have about almost 2 inches right here, which then will bring this about, I don't know, this general area, which then you can get the swap hose and go under the throttle body / intake to your inlet here on the engine. But because that's not the case, we are going to be boosted. I need all the space down there for the charge pipe to come up to the turbo and to the throttle body. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be cutting this off and moving it somewhere over here. So when you buy a regular half core like non-K series radiator for like say an EG, you could still use it with the factory outlet that comes out of the box factory. But You can also spend the extra money and get like a K-swap radiator, which then puts the barb for the coolant on the side, and then you can get the K-swap hose, which then, you know, connects the two together. But because I can weld, I have the radiator, I'm just gonna modify it and do it how I've always done it and just roll with the punches. I'm gonna go ahead and mock everything up and see what all I need to do to modify this radiator, and then we'll proceed with the cuts. General idea. That's a good reference, and that is actually a lot more space than I thought. All right guys, so the wind is starting to pick up and it is once again really cold. So I have this neck cut off, and I could have sworn I had a bunch of this size tubing because I've done modified radiators before, but I can't seem to find those tubings anywhere. So try my best to reuse this and not cut it too short, but we have it now. You can see right here the hole where we cut the neck off of, and I kind of grind it down flat so that way I can plate it up and weld it shut. I also cut off the tab right here on the top because we are going to be making a new one right here in the front. But for the most part, I'm trying to figure out where I want to add this neck back onto the radiator. I was debating on cutting this tab off to put the neck right at the end, but putting it at the end makes the hose kind of like not in line to the filler neck on the cylinder head. But I also wanted to keep that tab there just to use as a mounting point for either the shroud or if I want to use the giant stock fan that goes here. But I was also debating on putting it right next to the filler neck right here, which has enough space for me to weld it all around and allow me to still have that mount, which then also puts it in line to this neck there. Okay, got one plug. So good. Alrighty then, I'm kind of rusty with aluminum. I haven't done it in a while, but I mean, still kind of got it. So this radiator is used, it is dirty, so like I did probably have some nasty impurities on the neck portion right here, which you can see it kind of blobbed it up a little bit. But regardless, we got some nice clean welds elsewhere, and I don't know if I want to grind that down. I'm going to be painting it black, so you're really not going to see it. Not too worried about it, but I don't think I'm going to grind it down. The hole here, nice and grinded out and cleaned up with the carbide burst set. But other than that, I mean, I think this thing is ready for another mock-up for the front tab, and then we're going to have to cut that out as well. Make sure this is seated all the way down. Got a piece of cardboard. About to do some CAD action right now, you know what I'm saying? The tab is really not that big. Yes, sir. Radiator looks like it's ready to go. We got the holes blocked off, we got the neck relocated, and we got the tab to mount it in place, all done. So the only thing here is the fan. So again, I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna build a shroud, buy a shroud, or run it without a shroud. But really, if I have an OEM one, which I don't think I do, if I have an OEM one, I would rather run the OEM one. But anyways, yeah, we're making mad progress. I do want to paint the radiator top and bottom tank black. The black would also make the radiator look that much cleaner, because we did kind of sand and grind and do all kind of things to this. So I'm gonna clean up real quick and I'm gonna look for some parts. Talk about a random hose fit, huh? Damn, this one would have fitted, but it's about maybe 1.5 inches short. So the charge pipe, normally I'd run it all the way out like that and then go down towards where the intercooler would be sitting, but because I don't want to deal with buying a swap hose which goes underneath the intake normally and then comes back up from like hybrid or K-tune or something, I decided I'm just going to do a turn down right off the throttle body. This is a 3-inch because 70 mil throttle, and I might step it down to 2.5 since the intercooler is 2.5. But for the most part, I think I'm going to do a 90 straight off the throttle body, and then it's going to curve around and then go underneath on the bottom of the intercooler, and then the turbo is going to go through the top. So the flow is going to come in through the turbo, go across, go down, around, and then up into the intake. Doing it this way helps me simplify the top radiator hose, because it's literally just a 90 or maybe even a 45, just longer. So I'm going to take this one in for reference and try to get something very similar, just a little bit longer, so we can connect the two together. And then we're not going to be running any aftermarket or weld on a filler neck on the head, because we are going to retain the fill neck here on the radiator. That's pretty much going to be it for the radiator. Like I said, just got to paint it, figure out the fan situation, wire it up to the stock fan plug down low, because I did kind of keep it factory. So we are back from the parts store and we grabbed a few things that we needed. I swear, I feel like I forgot more things, but we got the main things that we're looking for. We have a radiator hose, which is the same as the last, except this one's about 4 inches longer, so we may need to trim it. We also got some hoses for the brake booster, and this is going to be going from the intake manifold all the way to the booster itself with a check valve in between, because you need it. And let's go ahead and just test fit all of this up. Now, I did secure the bottom one last night, but we are going to be taking it back out because, again, we are painting the radiator. But for the most part, let's see, part number 21610, Gates item, and it looks like this is going to work. So that goes on. You can see plenty of clearance here, and I could technically shorten this down a little bit to suck this hose in more to get it in line with this hose here, right? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, so let's just do this side first. Okay. Oh yeah, you can see it right there. Looks like we're gonna clear. I'm gonna have to cut off about maybe 1 inch of that. Measured 1,000 times. It looks like we're gonna have to cut about almost 1.5 inches, and I was told these are heavy duty scissors, and it has successfully cut through a radiator hose before, but it has been broken right there. So hopefully this works right now. Wow, still sharp, still strong. Wow. Okay, I just broke my freaking scissor. God damn it. How is this supposed to be industrial when the damn handle is weak as hell? But that's okay. We have a razor blade, and I'm gonna go ahead and just slice this up a little bit because I do have a really sharp blade on here, and it is actually pretty scary to do that. Okay, and there you have it. 1.5 inches cut off. Let's test fit it one more time. Perfect. So this is looking cherry, and I'm not going to tighten it up because I'm going to pull the radiator off now to get this nice and wrinkled black. So while the Radiator is over there baking in the sun, I am going to be pulling out the engine harness off my spare K20 engine we pulled out of the junkyard. I want to say this car was like an 03 or something, so the harness is going to work perfectly fine with K Pro, although we're going to be running K tuner, so we're going to have to get a conversion harness, which I actually should have on the way. So this engine harness is going to work for the budget, because normally with my cars and stuff I have like CJS wiring tucked mil-spec harnesses, but to keep it budget friendly, I'm just going to use the OE factory with a K20 conversion harness, also provided by CJS Wiring. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull this off. So let's get you guys caught up really quickly. I've just been working on trying to get the harness fully installed into the car. We're almost there. We are using a K20 harness on a K24, so a lot of the plugs and stuff are kind of short because of the configuration being different from a 20 to a 24, but nonetheless we have most of the plugs plugged in. Like this 2 sensor right here is a little tight because this water housing is in the way, where a 20 sits more inward and everything kind of plugs up freely. Now this is a K20 Type S 0204 harness. You can use like the 5-speed base model, you can use an EP3 of the year. I'm using a Type S because I got it from the junkyard and it came with the engine. When I paid for it, it was like $230 for the whole entire shebang. But if you was to buy this from like somebody else or whatever, it's probably going to cost a lot, because these harnesses are hard to come around and they are kind of expensive. The Type S, the 6-speed, has the reverse lockout plug, which is right here. Because we are running a 5-speed, I could go with something a little cheaper if I didn't have this harness, but we have it, we're rocking it. The Type S harness costs as much as a tucked harness, so if you're in this predicament, just get a brand new harness. You guys already know my go-to guy is CJS Wiring, link in the description below. And because we are using the factory harness, we are also using the factory RSX charge harness. The charge harness provides the power that goes to the alternator and the starter, and it actually connects to the main harness, which has all these extra plugs. It's a freaking mess right here because of all of the OEM looms and plugs and stuff, so I'm kind of tucking it away before we do the intake manifold. And right now I'm just trying to pull this out as much as I can, so that way I can route this power cable all the way to the battery with some slack. Right now it actually works, but it's just horrendous having this giant harness right here. So the goal is to extend it a little bit more so we can tuck this down a little bit and have this terminal go to the positive, and then the other two plug here is going to go to the fuse box for, again, the power for the starter and for the alternators. I did the exact same thing in the KRX, so I don't really want to show you guys every little nook and cranny. If you guys are interested and see how I routed everything and how I did all the power wires and stuff, be sure to go back to the KRX playlist, because the entire build, part by part, piece by piece, is all in its own separate video. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this done because I am really cold right now, and again, wearing shorts. But let's knock this out. All right guys, so ideally the power cable for the alternator and the starter is going to go just like this. So I cut, extended, and re-crimped down the terminal to the power cable, and that's going to sit right there like that. This is going to come across to the fuse box, starter, alternator, and we're not going to be running this battery obviously, and I still need to paint the battery tray down there. It's not fully secured in a place just yet, but the harness itself, you can see it right there. It goes through the AC hole, which is underneath here, and you can see it right there, and that's nice and snug. So that's gonna sit there, and the ECU wiring actually goes all the way to the floorboard. But aside from that, the harness is fully installed, and I do have a ground kit coming from CJSWIRING as well. I have one for the ground to chassis, chassis to valve cover, and I also have a ground cable from transmission to chassis. So we'll get to that once it all shows up together with all the ECU conversion. I still need to figure out where I'm gonna mount the reservoir, and I probably am gonna do that after the charge pipe and stuff, because I don't know where I want to mount it and not be in the way of all the stuff that's gonna be sitting right here. I'm not really feeling how this radiator cap is sitting this way, because it I don't know where this even came from, but whatever, that's what we got for right now. So guys, I ran into a little dilemma with the tensioner pulley system. I don't have the correct belt, and I don't want to show you guys a incomplete install, so I pulled everything back off to make its own video after I get the correct belt. But nonetheless, we made a ton of progress on Project Blueberry today already, so I'm stoked about it. I'm happy that this thing is looking more and more complete. Today we modified the radiator to fit the case swap. We moved the inlet over to the driver's side, so that way we can clear the intake and the TPS sensor. We made this bracket in the front to hold the radiator down, and then we wrinkle blocked it. Now this thing is not fully done yet because we still need to buy a shroud, and then I'm going to be installing the fan and then wire it up right here. This thing is already ready to go, so the fan and stuff is going to go on a later day. We installed the K20A2 engine harness, and it is already inside the car. Everything is mostly plugged in its place. A few things still need to come out because I need to change spark plugs, crank sensor. Obviously we don't have injectors. The intake manifold is going to be coming back out because I'm going to make this into its own video, talk about what we're running, the TPS sensor, the throttle body we're using, the fuel rail we're using, and we'll cover all of that when we make this video. The charge harness needs to be rerouted a little bit or cleaned up because it is kind of fat and it is kind of like wedged up in between here, but we got the charge harness all figured out. The battery post terminal is here with the power for the starter and alternator into the fuse box. The ground stuff is on its way, like I mentioned. You guys already know what it is, man. Progress is better than no progress. I didn't get all that I wanted to do today, but regardless, we still got work done. So this package came today. It is a sample wrap for Blueberry because I'm still trying to figure out the color and the brand that the wrap is, because I'm not sure if I can get the car rewrapped or bodywork and painted up before we go on our road trip. I bought some sample wraps to figure out which one is the closest, and the reason why I say that is because my buddy Garrett actually hooked it up with a rear bumper while we were down there in Irwindale for the Honda Super meet, and this is a brand new bumper that's painted frost white, I want to say, and it has never been used before. Now it is depot, but it still fits really well because the one on the car over there has a bunch of speed holes that I do not like, so I'll take this over that one any day. So the wrap is more so for the rear bumper for now. Honestly, I just want to see it really quickly. I did buy a little kit as well too because I don't have any like wrapping kits or anything like that, like the squeegees and the razor blade and stuff, so I bought a little tool kit for that. This color is from Vivid Super Cast Blue. It is new, and they do have a different blue that I wanted to try, but I bought 1 foot by 5 feet, and I don't know, it's close to Blueberry, but I guess we'll find out once we get to matching this up into the car. I also did buy another sample, and I've already kind of tested this one. It's really close depending on the color and the light. This color is actually more blurple than it is blue, but again, different shade, different shadow, different angle. It's a pretty close match. And the only thing I don't like about this is from Vinyl Frog, and they're like super overseas, so I'm probably not gonna order from this company. I want to try to match this color first and see how it looks before I proceed with the other color that Vivid offers, and the other company that I saw has like a chrome blue that kind of sort of matches Blueberry. But I mean, 10-15 bucks, I'm really not complaining about it as long as I can find something very close to what the wrap is on the car. I did go to the P.O. box. I got 2 packages, and these 2 right here, I want to give a big shout out. Much love from Hawaii. This is from Hawaii, and this is also from Hawaii. So let's open this. This first one right here is from BGZ Style Projects. I don't know if that's abbreviated or if that's the actual name, but BGZ Styles Project. My leg's shivering. Okay, so we do. Yo, okay. I just saw the first one. What's up, Dana? My name is Biggs, and I've been a subscriber for a few years now. Your video has definitely helped me when I was building a turbo 4-door Civic a year ago. I make stickers as a side hustle, and I figured I'd make something for you with one of your favorite sayings. Hand them out to your fans or whatever you choose. It's just a little thank you for all you do and the content and knowledge you share with the world. Keep up the work. Aloha from Maui, Hawaii. Biggs. YouTube channel, Big Style. BIGZSTYL. I'm gonna link that in the description below. I most definitely will check out the channel. I wonder if the sticker was sitting in the P.O. box and I just didn't check it in time, because when I went to Urbandale, I wanted to like give people stickers for trying to Salver Ball, and literally I only have 1 left, and I didn't get stickers or slaps done in time. But let me see here, March 9th. Well, that kind of showed up the day I was out there, so that's pretty cool, man. Check this out. This is definitely one of my favorite thing to say, even though it just kind of came about out of nowhere, but I guess it's his favorite as well too. Gucci Taters. He gave me a couple of these, which is freaking awesome. Check it out. Maybe I'll do like quick little giveaway or something with these. I'll figure it out and I'll let you guys know, obviously. And then we also have Big Styles sticker himself. So this one right here, I'm not sure if he has a website or something. I'll be sure to check it out, and if I do, I'll also link it in the description below. Big shout out to Biggs once more for taking the time to cut these stickers and sending them out to the P.O. box. Moving on to the other Hawaii package. This is from Brian. If you guys don't know this guy, 89 Hatcher boy, I've been following him since the good old Honda Tech days when his hatch was brown. Now it's blue. If you guys haven't seen this hatch, you guys are definitely sleeping, but let's see what the homie has sent to the P.O. box. Ooh. 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 This is sick, dude. This is sick. If you guys have not seen his blue hatch, EF hatch at that, check it out. I mean, it's the cartoon version, but like his car is super fire. Super fire. Check it out. 89 Hatcher. Appreciate you, Brian. Thank you very much. He also included a 1UP Garage collaboration pin. Check that out. And I did see it on Instagram. So if you guys want to add this to your collection or cop some stickers and support your locals, be sure to hit the link in the description below. I'm not sure if he has a website, but you can probably message him on Instagram or something if you guys want to cop something. I truly do appreciate it, Brian. Thank you for taking the time to send these to the P.O. box. I will most definitely add this one to the collection, and I might save this for my new laptop. I want to say that is all. So we are going to wrap up the video right here, guys. I hope you enjoyed the progress update on Blueberry. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for more updates on Blueberry, because we're going to go right back to it tomorrow, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.